Let's have a look here. Ex-Muslim goes off on why he left Islam forever. Let's have a little look. Because I was born into an Islamic family. My family's Muslim. I never really was Muslim. Never really identified with it. It didn't really gel with me, to be honest. And until I found Christ. So it's interesting to see this. Let's have a look. I've seen a few of these. I haven't seen this one.
According to the law of Islam, according to the Quran, if you are a Muslim and you leave your religion, you should be killed. You
Crazy stuff.
should be murdered. Now that goes to show that you actually don't have a free will. It's very easy to sit there and be like you have free will when you don't. Because as any non-believer that's not a Muslim, like let's say as a Christian or any other religion, you can leave your religion because that's your choice. You can make the choice to say, if I don't choose Jesus today, I can do that. And Christians are not going to come kill me and persecute me because I decided to leave Christianity. Because I have my own free will and I can make that choice. In Islam, however, you don't get that choice.
All right, folks. Well, this man is here to tell us 5 reasons why he is no longer Muslim. I found this on TikTok.
Oh,
Listen,
my bad.
people tell us 5 reasons why he is
Sorry.
no longer Muslim. I found this on
Turn it
TikTok
down a
recently, and these people, in my opinion, this is the news. This is the boots on the ground reality. And if you're brand new to this channel, I am the other Barack, coming to you live and direct from the United States. We're going back to the Holy Land very soon. I also wanted to let you know that 80% of you are not subscribed to this channel. Guys, girls, we have to change this. We put out 3 to 4 videos every single day on this channel. So please press that subscribe button, press that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of the action. And we also have a free newsletter right to your inbox every single week. The link is in the description. Here is the
5 reasons why I am no longer a Muslim. Now, I know that Muslims will explain these verses away. For them, they have a justification and they see it a different way. So if after what I have to say, you genuinely still believe what you believe in, that's fine by me. These are just the reasons why I left Islam. One of the first reasons I ever questioned Islam is when somebody brought up the verse to me where it said that you can beat your wife.
See, it's amazing. This is one trend I've sort of seen with Muslims is like they are told. So it's like, you know, it's very rare to have someone that's read it and gone, wow, and then just left like that. They're really just told, so they don't read it. It's crazy to me that.
Wife. Now, me as a Muslim, I could have never believed that because in my head, Islam was perfect, peaceful, loving, amazing. So in my opinion, in my worldview, this could have never been a thing, you know? So finally, when I was brought up the verse, it was very clear that you are allowed to beat your wife. It's allowed. You are allowed. Now, I don't care how you explain this verse away, saying that, you know, if you do 5,000 push-ups and do 15 jumping jacks and then go to court of law and then you can hit your wife. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it says you can hit your wife. And so that was one of the first things that, you know, raised my red flags for Islam.
So I'm thinking,
Second thing I found really interesting was that Muhammad was not a peacemaker. He was actually a warlord, which was completely different from the narrative that I used to believe in. My narrative that growing up was that Muhammad is a peaceful man. Islam is a religion of peace because Islam means peace. Therefore, it's a religion of peace. But then if you read the Quran, if you read the surah, if you read Surah 929, if you read Surah 7, 8, 9, there's so many verses where Muhammad gives clear, cutthroat instructions to go kill the disbelievers, to fight in the name of Allah and His cause, and if people are not listening to you, and to pay the jizya. Now, the best argument that Muslims come up with is that it was self-defense. But it doesn't work that way because self-defense is when somebody attacks you for no reason and you defend yourself.
I always hear, that's always a refutation I always hear, is that it was in self-defense.
When you go and attack someone and they fight back and then you go, aha, they just fought me, so I can hit them back and I can kill them. That's not self-defense. Remember, Islam wasn't a religion before Muhammad came into the picture. It wasn't. Like, whatever you want to say, historically, Islam wasn't a religion before Muhammad came into the picture.
What he said is really important for 2 reasons. Number one, his analogy of how Muslims will justify and say that what they're doing is self-defense, but if you're the first person who initiated the attack and then you get attacked back, then you suddenly have the reason for self-defense. This goes back to who started everything, which leads me into point number 2, which is that Judaism came before Islam. Judaism was a practice religion with practice holidays and tradition in a language historically, way before Islam came into fruition, became a religion, and conquest began all the way into what we know as proper Israel today, to basically attack, to annihilate, to wipe off, to ethnically cleanse. And so the justification for self-defense doesn't happen when you're the one who initiated the attack in the first place.
Then Muhammad came in, started telling people, hey, start believing in Islam. I'm giving you a choice. Believe in Islam. You know, whoever agreed, agreed. And whoever didn't agree, they were like, no. But he's like, no, believe in Islam. Or if you don't want to believe in Islam, you have a choice. You can pay the jizya or my army will kill you. And so they're like, no, again, I want to live my life. I don't want to follow Islam. I don't care what you want me to do. I don't want to follow Islam. Okay, you don't want to follow Islam? Murder them. Kill them. Kill the infidels. Kill the unbelievers. Anybody who doesn't believe in Allah, kill them. And so Muhammad was a warlord and not a peaceful one. Much different from what Jesus was teaching. Jesus said, love your enemies. Do not fight them. Do not persecute them. But Muhammad was giving like orders with his army, killing non-believers left and right.
Warlord. That warlord stuff.
Quran is not perfectly preserved. Now, growing up, and even the Muslims watching to this day, even people in my comment section will try to defend this, saying that Quran has been perfectly preserved from the beginning of time, untouched. Nothing has ever happened to it. There's only one Quran, etc., etc. Again, when you...
And the claim is that it's the divine word of God. Not inspired or anything. It's the divine word. It's like, whoa, what a claim to make. And the Quran makes claims in there as well, which we could check.
You look deep into it, you start realizing, hold on a second. First of all, it's not perfectly been preserved. First of all, Muhammad never wrote the Quran. His believers, his companions did. And then as time went on, there was different Qurans. And then Uthman actually burned multiple Qurans, and he compiled his version of the Quran, and he kept one of them. He literally had two companions who were fighting between each other, where they didn't want to give up their version of the Quran because Uthman was going to burn them. So Uthman actually burned multiple Qurans, and then he made one Quran, right? And then that was passed on from generation to generation. Now, even now, the Quran that you believe in is the standardized Quran.
That's right. A lot of Muslims don't know. It's the standardized one from 1929 or 20s or something.
That's why it's very similar from everybody. But there's still multiple different versions of the Quran. There's the harsh version. There's the wash version. There's almost, I think, 7 different versions of the Quran. Now, you can try and say, like, there's different qira'ats, there's different translations, etc., etc.
No.
That's not my problem, because even the Bible has different translations. But the problem is, you guys claim our books are corrupted because we have different translations. But you guys have the exact same issue. But when it comes to calling you guys out, you guys go say, well, it's just a different translation. Like, you know, there's not a difference. But if you look into it, there's words that are different. There's words that say he did it versus you did it, versus the Prophet did it, or Allah did it. There's different words, different sentences that created in the error that's in the language. Now, if you want to argue that...
And like in the Bible, the narrative, the core narrative is there. No matter what translation or whatever version or whatever they want to say, the core message is there.
Contextually, everything is all the same. Then you can't say the Bible is corrupted and you have an issue with the Bible, because Bible, that's all it is. That's an account of every different person who wrote it down, and they wrote it from their own lenses. So contextually, everything is the same. Somebody might have given different details, but contextually it's all the same. But again, that's another reason that
it's like a different account. We've seen this before. Like, we know this. It's like the analogy of like a car crash. There's a car crash been happened, and then they're asking the witnesses. It's going to be the same overall message, but with different details according to the individual, right? Stuff that caught their attention. But the gist of it, there was a red car that smashed into the window, you know.
Drew a huge red flag to me, because the claim was Quran's perfect and has always been preserved and never been changed. That's not true.
It's not true.
Another main reason that I left Islam, or I'm no longer a Muslim, is funny because it puts me at risk, which is that if you live Islam, you are to be killed. According to the Sharia law, according to the law of Islam, according to the Quran, if you are a Muslim and you leave your religion, you should be killed. You should be murdered. Now that goes to show that you actually don't have a free will. It's very easy to sit there and be like, you have free will when you don't. Because as a any non-believer that's not a Muslim, like us as a Christian or any other religion, you can leave your religion because that's
Yeah.
your choice. You can make the choices. If
So where's the peace then?
I don't choose Jesus
There ain't
today,
no
I can do
peace.
that. And Christians are not going to come kill me and persecute me because I decided to leave Christianity. Because I have my own free will and I can make that choice. In Islam, however, you don't get that choice. Which goes to show that you're brainwashed and you're submitted and you're put in there as a slave. And they're telling you, if you live Islam, you will die. Therefore, sit down, obey Islam, and do whatever you're told. You're not
Yeah, and I think even according to Islam, in Allah's perspective, you're a slave. You're a slave.
you're not even allowed to question Islam. You can ask questions like, you don't know this
That's
information,
really
that information,
wild.
but you can't come around and say, hey, I don't think morally this thing is right.
Yeah,
If
that's what I.
This,
That's
by the
what
way,
I
I want to
say.
make myself a little bit.
And this is where that's where I draw the line, because that's what I say. It's the moral aspects of it that I can't. It doesn't work with me. It's not for my heart. It's not for my soul. It's not for me. Christ is my way.
Bigger here. This is a really important point.
His
Sorry,
mic
my
is
camera's
really
not
loud.
centered. In regards to how I've been talking about the landscape of the children inside of the Gaza Strip. When you're raised in a way where this is what you are taught and it's my way or the highway, and you're taught to not challenge the narrative, to not question what's going on. So you're not supposed to challenge the idea of why are these neighbors called Israelis and Jews so evil? Why am I not supposed to be friendly with the other
Interesting.
children who are my age, who happen to be represented by a different religion, a different ethnicity, believing in a different God and a different colored flag? Why is it that the purpose of my life is now to go every single day and learn more about why I should be killing and live in the pursuit of killing these people, being a jihad? And the lack of ability to challenge this thought, this narrative, is the definition of indoctrination. And the indoctrination in this case does come from a radical religious perspective. And this is one of the more, the narrative people need to lean into more, removing your emotions tied to the fact, because the fact is that the children inside of the Gaza Strip, the majority of them, get indoctrinated by the people who govern them. And the people who govern them is an entity in a terrorist group called Hamas. And Hamas has transformed, not really transformed, I mean, they've really come to life over the past 2 years for the most that we've ever seen. But they have, since its inception, been represented by a radical jihadist ideology on the basis of religion and the basis of who they believe in God, as a justification for indoctrinating their own people, indoctrinating others in the world, and using methods like terrorism and violence as a means of justifying some self-defense against their neighbors. And this is a perpetuated cycle over and over and over.
Yeah, this is the reason. It's like it won't. It's like not. It's like it's difficult to find a solution to it because it's like in their book. It's in the books. It's like fulfilling prophecy.
And it comes from this. It comes from this because they have found a way to justify what they do through religious text, all the way down to killing people.
If you dare question that, again, you'll get backlash from Muslims and Islam in general, because you are not
It's so little there in a little corner.
allowed to question Islam. You need to give full submission without any doubts in your heart. And you need to be a Muslim forever. In no way, shape, or form you're ever allowed to live Islam. And if you do live Islam, you will be unalive. Last but not least, the scientific miracles are all fake.
Yeah.
Again,
This is
I
what I've
used to
seen.
believe Islam has so much pure evidence that it is true, that it has all the scientific evidence to back it up. So why would anybody believe in any other religion when there's proof and scientific miracles in the Quran that came 100% true? I would believe these things. So one of them was like Muhammad went up and he cut the moon in half, and then everybody saw that, or something like that. Again, I honestly I forgot the story, but Muhammad went up and he cut the moon in half. That was the scientific miracle. And astronauts went up, and then they saw, at first there was like lines on the moon. Everybody's like blowing this up all over the internet. Okay, proof for Islam. See, there's a cut in the moon because Muhammad cut the moon in half and stuff like that. A while go by, you do some research, you find out there's a bunch of cuts and dusts everywhere in the moon. there's no evidence that the moon was cut in half. So that scientific miracle is fake. There's another verse somewhere in the Quran, and I'm gonna put it up here, so don't worry about it. But it says something along the lines of like your kids come from the man's bones or the man's brain, something like that, which
Yeah.
is not how a baby comes. Like baby comes from the sperm and the egg meeting, right? But there's a scientific error where they say like your sperm comes from the bone or something, or like the man's
Like the
brain
back or
provides,
something.
and that's how the baby like is consummated and stuff like that. So again, another error in the Quran about scientific miracles. So they claimed to have thousands of scientific miracles in the Quran, but they didn't have any. So for all of these multiple different reasons, I decided from my own logical rationale that all of these things, they don't add up. The logic doesn't add up. The morality doesn't add up. The
Yeah.
peace and violence they claim, like self-defense they claim, it doesn't add up. For all of these reasons, I just decided I'm out.
It's a really, really powerful video. I covered and touched on sort of the main parts I wanted to earlier, but I think the most important part about this is trying to also, you got to think from the other perspective. How many videos are you seeing of Jews who are leaving Judaism as a result of maybe things that they found with others in the text?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you have Jewish people in the world who say, I don't agree with certain parts of the Talmud. Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
That's because the Talmud is just a long span of time of a big conversation amongst a lot of different people with a lot of different opinions, arguing and challenging thought. That's what the Talmud is. So the Talmud, by definition, is not going to be a text that everybody within its own religion is going to agree on. It's actually impossible to do. So many other things play a part, such as the political party or household that you come from, likely your socioeconomic status, so many different things. But you're not finding a lot of videos of Jewish people talking about how much they are finding texts within the Torah, the Tanakh, Judaism itself, the Talmud, implying that violence is a way to fulfill religious prophecies. You're just not finding it. And you're not finding it because when God gave Moses the tablets with the 10 Commandments, there was nothing about, and if you follow those 10 Commandments, that's one way to interpret of what being a Jew is. Or if you follow the Shabbat, according to Roseanne Barr, that's what being a Jew is. Or if you were born to a Jewish mother, it could be, that's one more important thing than what being a Jew is. There's nothing about terrorism, destructing the other, killing anyone that is not a Jew, making those pay some sort of a tax, just like the Jews had to pay a jizya as an identification process for not being a Muslim in a Muslim country. There's nothing about that in Jewish text. There's nothing about that in Jewish text. And if you want to take your own interpretation, that's fine. Look at today. Look at today, 2025. Today is a very good way to audit what is the state of the union given the claims taken from people. If you're going to say that Jews are violent and they make other people convert and that they're asking for other people to follow violent means to justify whatever it is that their cause is, then look at the same data that I show you guys all of the time. This is why I refer to this graph, this information. The amount of Jewish people that lived in Muslim countries in 1948 was around 1 million people. Today, that number is estimated between 5 and 10,000. That's because they have been treated by Muslim radicals in these countries as a superiority to them, treating them as a minority, treating them as somebody who is less. If the population of Jewish people in all of these countries had increased and the population of Muslims had decreased, and this war was happening, but because of different reasons, yeah, you might actually be able to make the argument today that like Judaism and Jewish people have been going through an incredible, radical, violent conquest for the past 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years. That's just not the case today, which is why I don't accept that argument. I reject that premise. I reject that premise.
It was them guys that killed Christ.
The conquest of radical Muslims throughout the Middle East, parts of Africa, and it's not just to Jewish people. There are Christians, many Christian communities in these places that have spoken up about what the persecution and violence that they're experiencing on a day-to-day.
Yeah, especially in Nigeria now, Christians are getting slayed.
Basis. In the How long has this video been? In the 17 minutes I've been recording this video, unfortunately, there have just been Christians slaughtered by radical militia Muslim groups in the name of Islam, in the name of text. And you don't have the same thing. I always go back to what an IDF soldier says before he or she enters, combat war, whatever it is, or on a mission. They're praying to God to save them, to save their unit, to save everyone involved, to make sure that no innocents are hurt. And then they go in and that they're asking for protection for everybody and that they can just accomplish the mission. And when Hamas went into Israel on October 7th, and every time that they fire a rocket, they fire it and they kill and they look for the Jew in the name of Allahu Akbar. And they're asking for not protection just from God, they're asking for a fulfillment from God to be able to fulfill what it is that they're trying to do, which is go and kill.
Yeah.
And go and slaughter.
It's quite
in the name
deadly.
Of God. It's crazy shit.
It's quite deadly.
Something for you guys to think about. Thank you so much for all your support. See you guys next video.
Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission.
Yeah, it's quite deadly. It's actually quite deadly, quite interesting. But as well, the thing, like I said in the beginning, what shocks me about it is a lot of Muslims, like that young man there, he left because of what other people told him about it. He didn't know himself. And that bewilders me. Makes me bewildered. So what? One didn't read the book. One went into the religion through what? How? Got gassed up by people. You didn't have a mind of your own to read the book and, understand the book, read it, reread it, understand it. Now you just committed because of the crowd. Well, it's really, that's what bewilders me. There's a lot of that's the case a lot of times. I was told, well, you didn't see it. It's there in the text. But yeah, it's an interesting one. And made the light within them awaken. Made the light within them awaken. Praise Jesus. But yeah, that's about it for me. I'm gonna get off, do a bit of gaming. I might eat some food, pizza or something. I got a little pizza, I think. Pop a pizza in there, and yeah, call it an eve. Till then, Drunken, I appreciate you for the raid and the people that popped in. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you for the follows as well. I'll follow you back. And yeah, I hope you have a good evening, guys. Peace and love.